Imagine you are one of the most deadly wingers in the world, but people don't remember your name because it is too hard to pronounce. Despite his unpronounceable name, he is one of the top wingers in the world right now. Yet from Ronaldo's fanboy to a Champions League champion, his journey was not an easy one. To understand how Khvicha got there, we have to go back to where it all started. He was born on February 12, 2001 in Tbilisi, which is the capital city of Georgia. If you don't know where Georgia is, it's a beautiful place with big mountains and very proud people, tucked right between Europe and Asia. For a kid like Khvicha, football wasn't just a game, it was in his blood. His dad, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, was a professional player too. Khvicha even played for the Azerbaijan national team. So from the moment Khvicha could walk, there was a ball at his feet. But life in Georgia for a young athlete isn't always easy. It's not like being in England or Spain where scouts are everywhere. You have to be twice as good to be noticed half as much. Khvicha spent his days playing on the bumpy, dusty streets. He didn't have the fancy training centers that kids in big European cities had. He had his imagination and his father's advice. He joined the academy at Dinamo Tbilisi, the biggest club in the country, when he was just a boy. Even then, coaches saw something special. He didn't just kick the ball, he moved with it like it was a part of his body. He made his professional debut for Dinamo Tbilisi when he was only 16 years old. He only played 4 games and scored 1 goal, but everyone knew he was too big for the local league. He was ready for a bigger challenge, but that challenge would bring hardships he never expected. In 2019, Khvicha made a big move to Russia. First, he went to Lokomotiv Moscow on a short loan. He was just an 18-year-old kid in a massive cold city. He didn't speak the language well, he was alone. His coach at the time, a legendary man named Yuri Semin, absolutely loved him. Semin cried when Khvicha eventually left the club because he knew the kid was a genius. But Lokomotiv couldn't keep him, and he signed for another Russian team called Rubin Kazan. This is where the rising action of his life gets really tough. Rubin Kazan was in a city far away from his home. Khvicha lived at the team's training base. Think about that for a second. Instead of having a cool apartment or a house, he slept in a small room right next to the practice fields. He stayed there so he could practice all day and all night. He was obsessed. But being a young player from Georgia in the Russian league meant he had a target on his back. Defenders were mean to him. They kicked his ankles. They tried to bully him. People in the media started to say he was lazy because he didn't like to run back and defend. They said he was just a dribbler who didn't have any end product. During his time at Rubin Kazan, he played 73 games. He scored 9 goals and gave 18 assists. Those are okay numbers, but they weren't world-class. People started to doubt him. They wondered if he was just a YouTube player who could do fancy tricks but couldn't actually win games. Then came the biggest hardship of all. The year was 2022. The world was changing. Because of the political situation and the war, FIFA, the organization that runs football, said that foreign players in Russia could leave their teams. Khvicha and his family were getting threats. People were angry that he was still playing in Russia. He felt unsafe. He had to pack his bags and go back to Georgia to play for a team called Dinamo Batumi. Going from a major European league back to the Georgian league felt like moving backward. It was like a movie star going back to acting in high school plays. He played 11 games in Batumi and scored 8 goals. He was clearly too good for that level. But the big teams in Europe were scared to sign him. They thought he was too risky. They wondered if he could handle the pressure of a big league like the English Premier League or the Italian Serie A. They thought he was too expensive or that he wouldn't fit in. For a few months, Khvicha was stuck. He was a lion in a small cage, waiting for someone to open the door. That is when the climax of our story begins. In the summer of 2022, a team from Italy called Napoli decided to take a chance. They paid about 10 million euros for him. In the world of football, that is actually a very small amount of money for a star. The Napoli fans were not happy at first. Their legendary captain, Lorenzo Insigne, had just left the club. Insigne was a hero in Naples. When the fans heard they were replacing their hero with a kid from Georgia with a name they couldn't even pronounce, they were worried. They called him Kvara because they didn't know how to say Kvaratskhelia. But from the very first game, everything changed.
In his debut against Verona, he scored a goal and got an assist. The fans tilted their heads and said, "Wait a minute, this kid is different." Then came the big test. Napoli played against Liverpool in the Champions League. Liverpool had some of the best defenders in the world, like Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kvara didn't care. He ran at them. He danced around them. He made the best players in the world look like they were standing still. Napoli won 4-1, and the whole world finally saw what the kid from Tbilisi could do.
The rest of that season was like a fairy tale. Khvicha wasn't just playing football, he was creating art. He has this weird way of running where his socks are pulled down low and he looks a bit clumsy, but then he does a move that leaves 3 defenders on the ground. He became so popular in Italy that they gave him a new nickname, Kvaradonna. This was the ultimate honor because Diego Maradona is like a god in Naples. To be compared to him is the biggest compliment a player can ever receive. Khvicha didn't let the pressure stop him. He kept scoring and kept winning. In the 2022-2023 season, he did something that no one thought was possible. He led Napoli to win the Serie A title. This is the trophy for the best team in Italy. Napoli had not won this trophy in 33 years, not since the days of Maradona himself. When the final whistle blew and they became champions, the city of Naples exploded. There were fireworks, singing, and dancing in the streets for weeks, and at the center of it all was Khvicha.
Let's talk about the numbers because they are truly mind-blowing. In his first season in Italy, Khvicha played 33 league games. He scored 12 goals and provided 10 assists in the league alone. If you count all the games, including the Champions League, he had 14 goals and 17 assists. He was named the Serie A Most Valuable Player. That means out of all the hundreds of famous players in Italy, he was voted the best one. He was also named the Champions League Young Player of the Season. He went from being a kid sleeping on a mattress at a Russian training ground to being the best player in one of the toughest leagues in the world in just 1 year. He broke records for the most chances created by a newcomer and became the first Georgian player to ever win the Italian title. He wasn't just a YouTube player anymore. He was a superstar.
On January 17, 2025, PSG confirmed the signing. The fee was 70 million euros, with up to 10 million more in achievable bonuses. Kvaratskhelia became the first Georgian player in the history of Paris Saint-Germain. His contract runs until June 2029. He was 23 years old. PSG advanced through the Champions League knockout rounds with a controlled, fearless authority that Europe had not expected from a French club since the 1990s. Kvaratskhelia was the symbol of their attacking danger, roaming, pressing, creating, scoring. In the Champions League semi-final against Arsenal, his assist for Dembele's early goal set the tone for a performance that had Arsenal fullback Jurrien Timber resorting to fouling him 3 times in the opening 20 minutes. Timber had kept Vinicius Jr. quiet throughout the quarterfinal. Against Kvaratskhelia, he was helpless. In the final in Munich on May 31, 2025, PSG played Inter Milan. The match was extraordinary in its one-sidedness. PSG won 5-0, the largest winning margin in any Champions League final, surpassing records that had stood since Real Madrid's 7-3 win in 1960. In the 73rd minute, a through ball from Dembele sent Kvaratskhelia in behind Inter's defense. He ran clear, composed himself, and beat Sommer at the near post. Goal, 4th of 5. PSG bench emptied. Luis Enrique, normally a model of controlled intensity, ran onto the pitch. Kvaratskhelia had become the first Georgian ever to score in a UEFA club competition final, the second Georgian ever, after Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, to win the Champions League. He completed the season having won the Ligue 1 title, the Coupe de France, and the Champions League, 3 trophies in his first 5 months at the club. Because he had also played 17 Serie A matches for Napoli earlier that same season before his January departure, and because Napoli went on to win their own Serie A title in May, Kvaratskhelia entered an exceptionally rare group of players to win 2 different league titles in the same calendar season. He started knocking a ball around a riverside in Akibu, a village of 700 people, watching his father, learning to play against bigger boys on uneven ground. He cried after fouls in Russia. He came home from a war zone. He arrived in Naples for 10 million euros. He scored in a Champions League final at 24. Every great story needs an opening and a destination. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia's story has both, and it is nowhere near finished. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It helps me immensely to prepare for the next quality content. Thank you always for your support.
Tschüss.